Uhuru, Baba Uhuru, Raisi Uhuru, yabarikiwe malango yako, narudia Uhuru, tena Uhuru, wewe Uhuru, ifanikiwe mipaka.
Former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta has successfully intervened to save Margaret Nduta, a Kenyan woman who was facing execution in Vietnam. His diplomatic efforts have been widely praised, with Kenyans expressing immense gratitude for his role in securing her release. Margaret Nduta, a 32-year-old Kenyan, was arrested in Vietnam in 2022 on drug trafficking charges, an offense that carries the death penalty in the country. Like many others lured by the promise of lucrative opportunities abroad, Nduta found herself caught in a dangerous network of international drug traffickers. Vietnam is known for its strict drug laws, often handing out death sentences to convicted traffickers, with limited legal options. Nduta's situation seemed hopeless, and her family feared the worst. Kenyan authorities had made previous attempts to intervene, but with little success. Despite being out of office, Uhuru Kenyatta used his international influence and diplomatic experience to engage directly with the Vietnamese government. He reportedly reached out to top officials, pleading Nduta's case and emphasizing concerns about the possibility that she had been coerced into drug trafficking. Diplomatic sources indicate that Kenyatta personally spoke with former Vietnamese President Nguyen Xuan Phuc and other key leaders to negotiate Nduta's clemency. His intervention brought renewed hope to a case that had seemed all but lost. The Kenyan public had been following Nduta's case closely, with human rights groups and activists calling on the government to act. Many criticized authorities for not doing enough to protect Kenyan citizens abroad, especially those facing severe legal penalties in foreign countries. Nduta's family had been living in anguish since her arrest. Her mother, speaking from Nairobi, described her pain and uncertainty. "I have prayed every day for my daughter's life. When I heard that President Uhuru had stepped in, I felt hope for the first time in years," she said. Reports suggest that Kenyatta's diplomatic approach involved both direct appeals and back-channel negotiations. His experience in international relations allowed him to navigate the complexities of Vietnam's judicial system and secure a positive outcome. Nduta had been accused of smuggling narcotics across borders, but activists argued that she was likely a victim of international drug syndicates that exploit desperate individuals. Her case highlighted the dangers many young Africans face when seeking opportunities abroad. The Vietnamese judicial system is known for its swift and uncompromising approach to drug offenses. Convictions are often followed by harsh sentences, including death by firing squad. Kenyatta's ability to secure clemency in such a rigid system is seen as a diplomatic triumph. As news of Nduta's impending release spread, Kenyans took to social media to thank Uhuru Kenyatta for his intervention. Many praised his leadership, contrasting his decisive action. Vietnamese officials have yet to release a full statement on the matter, but sources suggest that negotiations involved a commitment from Kenya to increase cooperation in tackling drug trafficking networks operating between Africa and Asia. The case has reignited debate on how Kenya can better protect its citizens abroad, particularly those who find themselves in conflict with foreign legal systems. Some activists are now calling for legal reforms to support Kenyans caught in such predicaments. Nduta's case is not unique. Over the years, several Kenyans have been arrested and sentenced abroad, particularly in Asian countries with strict drug laws. Many of them claim to have been tricked or coerced into smuggling drugs. The Kenyan government has come under pressure to establish stronger diplomatic ties with nations that frequently arrest its citizens. Some leaders argue that more structured agreements on extradition and legal aid are necessary to prevent similar cases. Uhuru Kenyatta's successful intervention has also drawn comparisons with previous diplomatic efforts by other African leaders to save their citizens from execution abroad. His role in the matter has strengthened his reputation as a statesman even after leaving office. The news of Nduta's release has sparked discussions about the role of former leaders in diplomacy. Many believe that experienced figures like Kenyatta should continue to play a role in addressing critical national and international issues. For Nduta, the ordeal has been harrowing. She is expected to return to Kenya soon, where she will reunite with her family after years of uncertainty about her fate. Activists and legal experts have urged the government to provide support for Nduta upon her return, including counseling and reintegration programs to help her rebuild her life. Nduta's case has also exposed the vulnerabilities of young African women who are often targeted by international crime syndicates. Many are lured by promises of jobs and end up being used as drug mules. Organizations fighting against human trafficking have used Nduta's story to raise awareness about the dangers of being recruited for suspicious jobs abroad. They have called on the government to launch more public awareness campaigns. Legal experts argue that Kenya needs to improve its mechanisms for offering legal assistance to its citizens facing serious charges abroad. Some suggest that a dedicated task force should be formed to handle such cases. There is also growing debate about whether Kenya should negotiate prisoner transfer agreements with countries like Vietnam, allowing citizens convicted abroad to serve their sentences in Kenyan prisons instead. Nduta's case has also shed light on the need for greater collaboration between African nations to address the growing problem of drug trafficking and its impact on vulnerable populations. Some have suggested that regional organizations like the African Union should play a more active role in advocating for citizens caught up in foreign legal systems. Uhuru Kenyatta's success in saving Nduta has also sparked discussion about the diplomatic influence of former presidents. Many believe their networks and experience can be valuable assets in times of crisis. Political analysts note that Kenyatta's involvement in Nduta's case has enhanced his legacy, showing that he remains committed to the welfare of Kenyans even after leaving office. The Kenyan public has largely responded positively to Kenyatta's efforts, with many praising his ability to secure Nduta's release, while current government officials struggled to make progress. Some political commentators have speculated that Kenyatta's intervention could have implications for his political future, possibly boosting his influence in Kenyan and regional politics. While Kenyatta has not publicly commented on his role in securing Nduta's release, close sources suggest that he acted out of humanitarian concern rather than political motivation. Nduta's family has expressed deep gratitude to Kenyatta, calling his intervention a miracle that saved their daughter from near-certain death. As she prepares to return home, Nduta is expected to share her side of the story, shedding light on how she ended up in Vietnam and the events that led to her arrest. Human rights groups hope that Nduta's experience will lead to greater scrutiny of recruitment agencies that send young Kenyans abroad under dubious circumstances. Vietnamese authorities have maintained their hard stance on drug crimes, but Nduta's case could set a precedent for future diplomatic negotiations in similar situations. As the world reacts to the dramatic turn of events, questions remain about how Kenya can prevent more of its citizens from facing similar fates abroad. For now, Kenyans continue to celebrate Nduta's survival and Uhuru Kenyatta's decisive action in saving her life. His intervention has reaffirmed the power of diplomacy and the importance of strong leadership in times of crisis. Margaret Nduta's case will likely serve as a lesson for many, reminding people of the dangers of international drug trafficking and the need for vigilance when seeking opportunities abroad. As she steps off the plane back home, she will return not just as a survivor, but as a symbol of resilience and hope for those who find themselves in desperate situations far from home. Margaret Nduta's return to Kenya is expected to be emotional, with her family and supporters eagerly awaiting her arrival. Her release marks the end of a terrifying chapter in her life, but it also raises many questions about the conditions that led to her arrest in the first place. Kenyans have called for an official investigation into the networks that recruit young people for suspicious jobs abroad. Many believe that Nduta, like others before her, was a victim of a well-organized criminal syndicate that preys on vulnerable individuals seeking better opportunities. The government is now under pressure to crack down on fraudulent travel agencies and individuals who facilitate illegal recruitment. Experts warn that unless firm action is taken, more Kenyans could end up in similar predicaments in foreign countries with harsh legal systems. Activists have also urged the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to enhance its diplomatic efforts to protect Kenyans abroad. Some have suggested the creation of a special department dedicated to assisting citizens facing serious legal issues in foreign jurisdictions. The case has further fueled discussions on the challenges of unemployment in Kenya. Many young people seek opportunities outside the country due to economic hardships, making them easy targets for human traffickers and drug cartels. Legal experts are now pushing for stronger bilateral agreements between Kenya and nations with strict drug laws. Such agreements could help prevent cases like Nduta's by allowing Kenya to negotiate alternative legal solutions for its citizens. Meanwhile, analysts note that Uhuru Kenyatta's intervention has highlighted the gaps in Kenya's diplomatic response to citizens in distress abroad. Some have argued that it should not take a former president's involvement for such cases to receive urgent attention. Margaret Nduta's story has also reignited calls for more awareness programs to educate young Kenyans about the risks of being lured into illegal activities overseas. Several organizations have already begun working on initiatives to reach vulnerable communities with this message. As Nduta prepares to rebuild her life, human rights groups are advocating for psychological support and rehabilitation programs for her and others who have survived similar ordeals. They stress that the trauma of such experiences should not be ignored. The global reaction to Nduta's case has also sparked interest in Kenya's role in fighting international drug trafficking. Some experts believe that stronger intelligence-sharing partnerships with Asian and Middle Eastern countries could help curb the smuggling networks that exploit young Africans. Ultimately, Margaret Nduta's survival is a testament to the power of diplomatic intervention, public pressure, and persistence. Her case serves as both a warning and a lesson reminding Kenyans of the dangers of illegal recruitment and the need for stronger protections for citizens abroad.